leadership, basically, most of us know the term when we refer to people like Steve Jobs or Nelson Mandela. They're one type of leader. Basically, you'll see these type of leaders have visions. They see a place where they want to go, and by means of their just sheer energy or their natural single-mindedness in some cases. Case in particular, Steve Jobs is more famous for that. Single-mindedness to achieve the goal. There's a clear objective in front, and how they get there is something to be developed along the way. It's not predefined, but whatever happens along the way, whether it be obstacles or whatever comes in front, they still focus on where they want to go, and that's probably more a common figure of leadership. But if you look at the etymology of leadership, it's basically people being led or by typically one person to a place. So on a more general scale, you can see leaders in everyday life, whether it be parents, who have a certain level of responsibility, or people within the workplace who have responsibility and for people, and not only people, but also targets of, reaching objectives. And in this case, it's the driving factor is less the vision. It's more a responsibility to achieve objectives that are laid out by maybe different levels of the business structure. Typically, these levels will come from the CEO down, and each of the layers have their part in performing and achieving the various goals and objectives. So at that level and the lower levels, let's call them, for lack of a better word, lower, the hierarchy usually decides in terms of where the goals and objectives are, and then the various managers at different levels will implement those. So how does that work then? On the level of leadership there, you see, typically speaking, people who are typically empathic and know they're not just object orientated, where they have an objective and go there regardless of the how they do it. And then you have others who are more typically, as I said, empathic, and they know what they have in front of them. They see the objective, but they are very aware of the people and the situations around them that they need to work with. So a lot of people will be familiar with, the dictator type manager who just works because, he has the authority. But you will most likely experience people who don't have authority, but have taken the responsibility on board, have made it theirs. They as they say, buy into an idea, buy into an objective, and they take it on board themselves. And then what you see, even if they don't have authority, by means of natural enthusiasm, or, as I say, a key word here is empathy, they understand who they have in front of them and convince people, that their part is important or their part is needed. And, this is what motivates people as well. Motivation isn't always a result of somebody in that case, but there is also responsibility. So there's a good, healthy blend. And in the case of, typically speaking, program managers, there is this mix of sometimes you have clear authority, but you won't use it because that doesn't always work. It may work for the moment, but in the long term, it's not such a good approach. My experience is when you need people at key moments, if you use authority to move things ahead, then when key moments come along, you'll find that you'll be on your own, and people will only be too happy to see things fail, which is not a good position to be in. Instead, my experiences, and which is what I prefer to do, is working with people, trying, understanding their difficulties, and sometimes, it even may involve a little bit of psychology, whereby you have to understand their personal items which impact their actual professional lives. That's a lot of extra work, but and it takes longer. And sometimes you may, you may not even reach your goal in the time because you also have a timeline as well. There's the usual three factors: cost, performance, and schedule. And you have to work these three items to try and move various programs forward. So what you see then is if you keep a focus on the long term, you'll find that it's better to have long-term solutions. Short-term solutions, okay, in really serious emergencies, or that's a valid moment maybe to apply, whether it's direct authority. But in the long term, if you need people to cover moments that regularly happen, when you need backup, or you need the team to be a team and not just individuals, you'll find long-term solutions are those which keep teams strong, achieve objectives, and in my experience, the best possible way. So that's the form of leadership you'll encounter day to day in companies and even in life as well. You notice among friends, people who have a tendency to